Councillor Chambers.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Firstly, let me pay tribute to my colleague Rebecca and to our officers for the work that they have done on this plan over the last few years. I myself am not on the planning committee, but it's been a hard slog over the last 6 years. I was a member of the planning referral committee for forestry-wise, and I bear the scars from that. I'm quite certain that members of the planning committee will bear the scars from the free-for-all that has been going on for the last 6 years. So I'm very much in support of this plan. I do have some reservations about certain areas in my own ward, most particularly Ripon Barracks. However, in the overall scheme, this is a sound plan and one which I think deserves support. Some members may recall that when this was last debated in the Royal Hall, that I stood up and spoke and in closing said, and will say again this evening, especially as the Cabinet Member for Housing, that many of us will go home tonight and reach for a bottle or reach for a glass of wine, and then we'll turn into our beds and snuggle down under a duvet and think, well, that was a job well done or not well done, whatever. But I would ask you to remember that there are many people out there, even in this district, who do not have a home or are in overcrowded and insanitary accommodation. We are working hard to ensure that that is put to an end. But in putting forward your objections, many of which I have sympathy with, I would ask you to bear in mind that there are those of us, among us, who are not as well served as we are, and that it is our duty to ensure that they have accommodation and housing which best befits them taking part in society and playing a positive role, knowing that they have a decent roof above their head, and that there is a council that is standing up for them and making sure that we move that forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Before I go to Councillor Cooper to sum up, I'd just like to put on record my concerns. I generally support the plan and I will be voting for it this evening, but I do have concerns over the barrack site in Ripon myself. There are certain aspects of that. I appreciate there's consultations going on at the moment, and we'll have to wait and see what the outcome of these consultations are before we can make a final judgment on that particular plan. I am one of the councillors of the planning committee that share some of those scars that Councillor Chambers mentioned. It's been particularly demoralising at times to be on the planning committee and only being able to approve things when you know, had we had a plan, they probably wouldn't have been approved. But if we vote for this evening and we get the plan approved, we'll be in a much healthier position, and I would urge everybody to support that. Okay. Thank you. Councillor Haslam.
Mr. Mayor, thank you. I will be supporting the plan tonight, but on several other reasons. The first thing is I'm against developer control. I too bear the scars of planning referral committee and the fact that we were overwritten many times when we knew that the housing development was not appropriate. But one of the things that by having a plan, it gives us control. And there's one element of control that we've not really talked about tonight. Some of our questions ask this, and that is the question of climate change. Climate change is happening very rapidly, and much more rapidly than many people thought. And I believe that we get the plan in place and we start to look at how we mitigate these climate change issues. And so therefore I will be supporting the plan on the basis that we can get to grips with some true issues around fighting and combating climate change and mitigating climate change for our residents.
Thank you. Councillor Sims.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. They've all grown around me now. I can't understand why. I have serious concerns about this plan and the numbers that we've got proposing to build. My ward doesn't suffer because the majority of it is covered by AONB. But I feel for the people of Greenhampton and Kirkhampton because it has not been made clear to me, who sits on this council and sits on the planning committee, that we need that number of houses. The Written Barrack site is also a big unit of sites, which is more than what was in the local plan. I have concerns of where that is going to and whether it's going to be of any benefit to Ripon at all. But without a local plan, and it grieves me to say this, that we are in danger of having to accept everything. And I must ask fellow members to vote for the plan, just so we have some ability to restrict the developers' concrete blocks.
Yes, sorry. Sorry, Councillor Myatt. Anne Myatt.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I absolutely echo so many of the thoughts and the sentiments of people, councillors who've expressed misgivings, heartache about this plan. It grieves me to say that I cannot support this plan because on behalf of my residents, I see the problems that have arisen, sure, with uncontrolled development. They've already suffered loads of extra houses. And on top of this, if they have the plan, then it goes through, which is unlikely, of course, then they just get a huge housing development, a new town on their doorstep. They can't win. If there's no plan, I'm not sure it's any worse than having the plan for them. So I'm afraid, on behalf of our residents, I am going to have to vote against this. But I do recognise fully the commitment, the work, the effort that everybody's put into this to get to where we are. I just wish, perhaps at some point, we had been able to stop and think and get the numbers right and weigh up the sites and have a vote on those sites before we got here tonight.
Can I ask the members of the public, please refrain from expressing an opinion either verbally or through applause. It doesn't speed up the process a lot more, and it allows councillors to be able to express their views on behalf of their residents. Councillor McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As a Ripon City Councillor as well, same as yourself and Councillor Chambers, I'm very concerned about the barrack site. The numbers change all the time. We've gone from 1,000 houses to 1,300 houses. And it just seems ridiculous with the amount of employment land coming down. What I'm really concerned about is that we've been to lots of consultation meetings and they don't seem to be taking the infrastructure of Ripon seriously. And so I am concerned about that. I am, however, teetering on the fence as to whether I agree with this plan or not. One of my other concerns is all these houses that are being built, I just wonder in years to come how many of them will still be empty. And yet people have suffered having these big developments on their doorstep and there's no guarantee that they will be sold. So I am teetering. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Lumley, I believe you haven't spoken already. No? Yeah. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I shall be supporting this plan. It's a plan that I've been working on and debating on for a very from its concept, basically, through the committee process, where we looked at all options around the district. We debated all those options around the district. We looked at map after map after map, looking at areas that we could potentially build on. It's obvious we have to build houses, and it's very difficult when it affects others more than the rest. In my case, I can echo what my colleague in the AONB from the New Valley Ward said. It's quite the reverse in the AONB. We do struggle with school numbers. We struggle with support in our community, and the inspector decided that we shouldn't be building at all beyond what we already had in that area, which was somewhat of a disappointment.